So I thought it was too late to make a video like this, but I'm still seeing YouTubers post lists or stuff about 2020, so I'm like, heck, why not? Let me do it as well. So here it is, heroes that hit meta in 2020. Hey, what's going on, Knights? Name is the Gamer. We'll go back to another epic video. So today, we're actually going to, so this is gonna be, I think, a 3 or 4 part series. I'm not gonna say the other ones. You'll find out when they come out. I had this idea when I woke up. For some reason, I woke up and these ideas just flooded in my head. I was actually going to do a list of just attackers that I like. But I was like, that's kind of, why would, nobody cares. Nobody cares about what I like, but I want to cover, and I thought about it, I want to cover heroes that actually got into meta in 2020 that really weren't meta in 2019. So we'll go ahead and, by the way, I might be biased, I might not be. Y'all let me know in the comments down below what heroes, if I didn't name them, it's just that I probably missed out on them, or I just don't have that hero. So just go ahead and put it in the comment section down below. Let me know if I did miss something, and I'll probably be like, oh yeah, you're right, because usually most of the time y'all are right anyways. By the way, before we get started, I know this is kind of a cringe thing to do, but I wanted to do it. 81% of y'all are not subscribed to the channel, so if your subscribe button is still red, make it gray. I would love to see y'all. I would really appreciate it if y'all subscribe. I just wanted to throw that in there. I don't want that to be long. So anyways, let's just jump into it. So of course, first on the list is Kron. If you're new to my channel, I'll call him Crayon. This guy became meta in 2020. A lot of people will probably be like, no, he was actually pretty good. No. This guy came out at the end of the year 2018. I believe it was the same year when Epic 7 actually started. This hero, when I first saw him, I was like, I need this guy. And if you go back to those, to that, I think it was actually my first 6-star as well. So, I'm a kind of given the reason why he became meta, and then I'm going to explain why he's really good in and of itself. So you already know his skills, right? First skill, decrease hit chance, turns to an AoE if he has buffs, and I think that's his passive. Also grants immortality, and then he does a whole bunch of damage depending on how much HP he has lost according to his attack. So, and on top of that, his base speed is like the highest. It's like 129 or something like that. So why was he not meta in 2019 but meta in 2020? I have no idea. He like there was the exclusive equipment that he got, but it wasn't that big of a change. He got a silence on his third skill, and then or increased damage on his third skill, or increased damage on his first skill, right? So why did he suddenly become meta? I think people finally realized how good he was. I think that 129 base speed is one of the big things as well. Also the fact that he's basically, to me, even before everybody started using him, this guy to me was, since I didn't have an RB, he was basically the normal version of RB, normal element version of RB. This guy, he makes himself unable to die, even if he gets stripped. Even if he gets stripped or he has the unable to buff, it doesn't matter. You have to hit him one more time for him to die. And that's something that I think people started realizing, like, oh, this guy is actually good because he doesn't die and he does a whole bunch of damage. This guy, I use him even before everybody jumped on the Crayon train. I used him for his AoE. He looked really interesting from the beginning. He had his own Hall of Heroes or whatever it was called before this thing was here. Before this was here, he had his own, Hall of Trials. It was actually different before. Like, it was, you had to do certain levels. Like, you actually had waves, which is really cool. I wonder why they changed that, but they had that. And when he first came out, I was like, man, his animations look insane. And I was like, is this really how the character is going to be, or are they just hyping him so when you get him, he's not going to be as good? This is pathetic speed because he has extremely high base speed, but I use him this way because it's just, he just does a whole bunch of damage. And you know what, I can show y'all. Let's try this one. I want to use FTT to counter Kron himself. So let's go ahead and do it. I just want to show you how much damage he does because he does insane damage. I don't know why people don't go for his first skill. Oh shoot, I chose the wrong one. For frick's sake. Let's go into the right one. Come on, man. Burn. Let's see how much damage he does. 20k on the freaking Kron. If that doesn't convince you, I don't know what will. Let's do his third skill. Just so you can see, this is actually basically full HP, and he does 14,000 without defense break. Look at that. And then give him the turn again. Burn. The best part about his burn is that it's only one, and he does holy sacrifice. And Kron ends with the kill. He does pretty decent damage even without the burn. He did 10k right there without the burn. So now you know why the husbando is meta. I'm gonna have to go fast because these guys, it's gonna take me forever if I do it like this. Next one is, man, like I haven't built this one, but he's so OP. Like he became so meta. Like you already know who I'm talking about. Like I don't even need to click on him, right? And not this guy is so good. He does unable to. He does increase attack. He does unable to buff and decrease defense. So good. And then look at his stats, man. Look at that base speed. Look at that, man. That base speed is. Oh, I'm just kidding. Oh baby, this girl. You see her, you're like, you end up getting PTSD. Oh my goodness. So when she first came out, she actually was not, people were ignoring her. I even ignored her even when she got her buff. So she got a buff. I forgot what it was. It was either added the silence on this one, and then they changed a little bit on her on her passive as well. I think, don't quote me on that. I don't remember what her buff specifically was. But she got a significant buff to the point where she became meta. She's become such an annoying nuisance. So if you don't know, she bleeds with the first skill, nothing too crazy, right? Damage suffered in one attack does not exceed 51%. So anybody, like, it doesn't matter if you do 1,000,000 damage, this girl's not dying. If her health ends up going 70% or lower, she ends up dispelling all debuffs and then granting stealth, so you won't be able to attack her unless you have an AoE. And then increased combat readiness of her for, I think it goes up to 30%, right? 355, yes, 30%, which is insane. So if you build her extremely fast, if you look at her stats, she's actually pretty fast as well. 117 is nothing to joke around about. So you're able to kind of easily put her on speed set, and she's able to just do insane damage because her third skill actually does damage proportionate to the caster's lost health. And you can see kind of the trend with these meta units, which is they don't die within the first turn, like unless you have a follow-up plan, like a plan B right after. These heroes like Kron, this girl as well, she doesn't die in one shot. You have to have kind of a counter for her. So she became really good, especially when you see that greater attack buff, right, come up, or like she just does insane damage. Like she can nuke an entire team. She can be counted now as basically an ML5. She's so good. She self-sustains herself by not dying in the first turn, dispelling all her debuffs, and then on top of that, being able to put significant debuffs and be able to do significant damage. So that's why I feel like that's why she became meta. And I hope a lot of people agree with me on that, because yeah, she wasn't meta at first, and now everybody and their mom are using her. You see her a lot in arena as well, especially like where I'm at. So yeah. So Cerise became meta, I think. And by the way, disclaimer, I forgot to say this in the beginning of the video. I'm not counting RTA. I don't do RTA. So if I do miss something that it became meta in RTA, I won't know, because I don't play. I don't like getting pissed off. So, and everybody in RTA has so much better gear. So yeah. So anyways, this girl became meta. She was not really exciting at first. You're like, oh, she only has a strip, invincibility, she only stuns. it's not that much, right? But recently, I'm not sure if they gave her an exclusive equipment or they buffed her. Either way, she became extremely meta. You see her a lot now. She strips, especially with her with their base speed, right? Her base speed 122, able to strip and then restrict, which is a debuff that does not allow the enemies to increase combo readiness with the skill. So Alox is out. Like Alox has lower base speed than her, so she's able to counter Alox with this. So that's what makes her really good, and then decreases speed as well. I think it was this one that got the buff, increases the caster's combo readiness by 50%, and then stunning them for 1 turn and unable to buff. And then I believe she teams up, she dual attacks with an ally. I don't know, I feel like a lot of these heroes were good already. It's just that people finally like see it as like, oh man, we can use this with this, or it's more of the fact of who they're using them with. So that makes sense in that aspect. So maybe there wasn't much changed about her. I don't remember too much, but I know that she wasn't meta in the beginning. When she was limited, a lot of people ignored her. I'm not gonna lie, I was one of the ones that ignored her, and not that I'm regretting getting her, because she wouldn't have changed my game that much, but she is really good especially with the ones who know how to use her. So I did miss out on her limited. I don't have her, unfortunately, and I did try getting her. I just couldn't get her. Adventure Ross. This guy actually became really good on defense. I just think he became a lot more relevant, just because of the fact that when specialty changes, you're able to boost the stats or change the skills here and there. And I think that's what made him a lot more like, let's put him on defense, especially with like the Bassars that are out there, especially with the Charles that are out there, you know. So this guy kind of counters them, especially since he's a knight. You're able to put Arius on him. You're able to put Elbrus. I wouldn't know about Elbrus, but he still became meta. I don't want to ignore him just because he's a 3-star and just because he doesn't do insane amount of damage. That's not the point. It's the point is how people are using him. I see YouTubers use him in videos, and I see him a lot more in defense as well, so I can't ignore him. Unfortunately, I have not built him, so I can't give you the specific details, because there are other heroes that have specialty changes but haven't become meta. So I think this guy is more about just because he's able to dual attack. With this one, he's able to dispel a buff here. So yeah, this guy is one of the ones that did hit meta, and we'll see. I love seeing how the meta changes, because like a year ago, the meta was so different. Lilius. Okay, so don't get me wrong. I think she was meta the whole time since she came out, but I feel like in 2020, she became this big, annoying, because especially for the people who have Bassars, right? If you put immunity on her and you miss with Bassar, you're screwed, because guess what? She's able to decrease combo readiness and be able to cleanse the whole team. And then on top of that, give herself combo readiness by 50%. And then she's able to provoke. So, and then dual attack with a random ally. So she does do, and then her damage is proportionate to the hero with the highest attack. There it is. Yeah, so she can do some damage with that third skill if there's defense break. So she became meta. I feel like she, especially with the Charles, Seaside Bologna, Lilius, or the Lilius FCC Charles Seaside Bologna, or whatever else, she became so good just because of the fact that she's able to kind of counter the OP Bassar, or kind of counter all the debuffers, because she's able to cleanse, and not only that, just do more than just cleansing. So I feel like funny enough, another Fire Knight. Are all these heroes fire? Like, I just noticed that. But she did make an impact in Epic 7 in 2020. I don't know about RTA. Like I said, I don't know if it's the same meta as it is in Arena Defense, Guild War Defense. I feel like this girl just has so much in her kit. She actually does have a pretty decent base speed. 110 isn't like crazy, but it's still pretty decent, able to outspeed people. But she did impact the meta, and she still is in the meta. Like if I were to go into Let me refresh once, right? There she is, boom. First one, Lilius, freaking, oh look, there's two of them. The Cerise is right there, Lilius is there, Violet, and so they're really depending on this guy. So yeah, and then look, another one, Adventures Ross right there. So that's kind of what I mean. I don't know if it's different meta on different ranks. I know probably top the legend ranks or whatever. I know they're probably using all ML5s, Fallen Cecilia, freaking Arby's, and whatever insane stuff they have up there. But at least where I'm at, I've seen normally the YouTubers that I watch, they kind of have the same meta. So, and last but certainly not least, Miss Celine. This girl, okay, so when she came out, she was okay. It was just kind of weird that her passive, her blink, was random, right? And I think that's why people didn't use her. It's like, oh well, she might attack Kron, right? Or other than the one that I want her to attack. She did pretty decent damage. It's just that her passive wasn't as reliable as you wanted it to be, so she didn't become that meta. But she got an exclusive equipment which changes that blink and now attacks the hero with the highest attack, which is marvelous. That's like literally the snap. That's all she needed. That's all she needed, and she became meta. A lot of people use her on offense. A lot of people use her on defense, because now once you see, you're like, oh, I can attack this one, and then you're like, oh, you're about to use A-lots or whatever, and it's like, wait, Celine is there. She's gonna end up killing that hero. So it kind of makes you double think, and that's kind of why I wanted to make this list, is that like the heroes that kind of make you stop and think, and it's like, oh man. And people, heroes that aren't really usually used are being used, especially in 2020. So I feel like that made her meta. Her damage was already good. I don't think she needed a damage buff at all. She does insane damage with her first and third skill, especially since she's able to increase evasion and take off all debuffs. So that little thing that they needed for her passive just made her completely usable, or better. I'm not gonna say usable because she was usable before, but a lot of people are like, okay, now eyes are focused on here. And that is it for today's video. Oh my goodness, why do I talk so much? I don't know why I talk so much. Let me know in the comments down below. What do y'all think? Did I miss somebody? I'm not sure. Y'all let me know. These are just heroes that I had on the top of my head. I was just like, well, you know what? It is true. Like, let's say Kron. Like, not a lot of people are using him, and now he's used everywhere, especially different variations of, okay, extremely high base speed or kind of low base speed with the like fat damage. So and then you can use them as a counter build as well. So it's stuff like that. So like I said, y'all let me know what y'all think. I'm gonna stop talking. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Every like, comment, subscription is appreciated, and I'll see you on the next video or stream. All right, peace.